see this one. Uh-oh. Hello, Reborn family. My baby dolls. My doll babies. My honey baby sugar dolls. How are you today? Isn't it a nice, beautiful day out today? Nice and sunny. How are y'all doing? How's y'all's day? My day, it's been, I can't, complain. I'm still here. Just sitting here, um, doing a little bit of modeling. I'm putting on my purple. It looks dark, but it's not. It's just this sponge. It's not as dark as it looks. But I want to thank y'all for my slow down. Your input on my video yesterday, because I did change my bio and I put a creator, I think a creator of Reborns. I don't think I said student, but on my other social medias, I'll probably say something similar to that. And when I did look at my bio, I'm so thankful I did not say I was an artist, because that certainly would not have been true. So thank y'all. I'm doing purple, if you can see that. Can you see that? So, and I'm doing it in different directions. I'm not just doing it all in one. I'm turning it. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Did I tell y'all? I can't remember. The girl that had me blocked in, when that caused me to miss my appointment. She's a friend of my daughter. And when I was checking the mail, I think I did say something. I can't remember. But it did kind of bother me that she was so, oh well, had that kind of attitude, not remorseful or anything. So, like when the guy told me how her attitude was, because he does know, about my shoulder. And he told me about how she was just nonchalant and like, oh, well, let her block me again. Because, see, I didn't have to go knock on the door. I could have, just called the police and the project manager and just not give her no warning at all. The next time I won't. Because if you don't care nothing about me, and she knows that I have a problem with my shoulder, because, her and my daughter are friends. But I don't think they're going to be friends after that. Because I told my daughter what happened, and my daughter certainly is not feeling that. So tomorrow, I go to the appointment to get the nerve test done. So it's at 1:30. So I'm glad that I was able to get in as quick, as I did. Actually, I'm going to the same surgeon that did my elbow. because when you hit your funny bone real hard and it causes trauma to your funny bone, you develop cubital tunnel syndrome, and it spreads. It's like these two fingers get numb, but now it has spread to all of my fingers. So when I had the surgery, they cut in here too because it developed in the carpal tunnel as well. So now I have that permanent damage and nerve damage, and it is spreading. So I guess they're going to do both arms. And there's different kinds. Like at the pain clinic, they use the needles. Wait a minute. They use needles and these prongs, and I don't know what hurts worse. I think the prongs bother me more so than the needles. When they put those prongs on you and it sends those shock waves, it just drives me. It aggravates me, and I start hurting. So I don't know what they gonna do tomorrow. If they're gonna use one or the other, most likely they'll use the needles. Because when I had it done, before they did the surgery, and they had me to close my eyes, and it kind of looked like a coin, and it was round, and it had sharp, kind of like little sharp edges to it. And so he had me close my eyes, and he was like pricking me in my finger, and he was telling me to tell him if I could feel it, because it had like one prong and then it had two prongs, and I couldn't distinguish none of them. I remember him. He said, "Miss Trotter, do you feel that?" And I said, "Feel what?" And he said, "Oh boy," because I didn't feel it. So that's why I don't play my keyboard or my guitar. I can't feel the keys. I'll feel them for a minute, and then I'll go numb, and I can't feel them. Then it'll start shooting pains up and down my arm. And my guitar, oh boy, because I strum with my right, and that means I would have to be doing this, with my left. And you have to mash down on those strings so you can get a tune out of them. That's going to be very difficult. I traded in one guitar. I had an acoustic, which is a much larger guitar, steel strings. So I traded that in and got a smaller guitar. It's a classical guitar, so it has the nylon strings. So and it's shorter. So I'm going to try that. I am going to try to find some kind of way, doll babies, because I really do miss playing my instruments. I mean, even with the recorder or a xylophone, I'm gonna have difficult because I'm holding the sticks to a xylophone. I'm subject to drop them. So I do have to do strengthening exercises. Of course, it's going to be weaker than my right. I'm predominantly right-handed, but the injury has weakened my left significant, it's just significant damage. So I have a stress ball, and I know some of y'all know what a stress ball is. But it's a spongy round ball, and you squeeze on it. And boy, oh boy, does that hurt. Oh, because it instantly starts shooting them that nerve pain. It just goes up and down, and it travels. It travels down to the other. I already know something wrong with this because I overuse it. Question is, I don't want no more surgeries. No more. So, like if my right arm gets sore, because I've been doing too much with it, I'll chill out and won't do nothing, for a couple of days or however long till the soreness go away, because it gets pretty tender. So, since I was not able to sue the company because I worked for them, I am suing the elevator company. And that, I couldn't start that suit until after my workers' comp was settled, and my disability kicked in, because attorney didn't want all of that running together, because they would try to possibly mess with my money. So yeah, I'm going after the elevator company, because that elevator had not been inspected for a couple of years, and not a lot of years. And when I first started working at that company, the girls was telling me that they had been there for like 18, 19 years, and said that elevator has always been messed up. Actually, they called it a death trap. So I never got on that elevator, but I still had to, my job description, I had to load stuff on the elevator. And I was just standing in the track, and the sensor didn't go off, and that's how I got hit, and shoulder got caught up in it. So, and the funny thing about it is, in the elevator, and I never will forget this, there was the certificate in that elevator, but after I got hurt, it conveniently disappeared. So, when you have an attorney, sometimes, I don't know, you do the legwork. And I'm like, so what are you going to be doing? You getting some of this money too. You need to be doing some work too. So I fired him and got somebody else. And I told him right off the bat, if I don't get paid, you don't get paid. So looked it up online. I can't remember the year, but it stated, because it's public knowledge, it had been a while before that elevator was serviced. And I did get statements from witnesses where the maintenance people that are not certified to work on elevators was tweaking that elevator, and they in trouble. This one girl, she didn't work there no more. They was telling me that the elevator, when I say that thing went, it zoomed like that, like, whew, It hit her in the head. They said she had a big, huge knot on her head. A lot of people used to complain about the elevator, and I got statements and everything. So I don't even know if they still work there, and I don't keep in contact with them. The point of it is I got statements. So, and plus proof that they had not been surfacing that elevator. So, when people kill me, corporate, any kind of businesses, they kill me. Oh, look at her. They're not red like it. I know it looks red, but it's not. It's the camera. This is a different tablet than the one in my room. But they kill me. They think that people are dumb. And because they're corporate people, they think you're supposed to be intimidated by them. Not me. I remember when I was going to my hearings for workers' comp, because, when I got injured, it was like in June or July. They did not do anything to my shoulder until like March. So I was going to my workers' comp doctor, and you could clearly tell that my shoulder was dislocated. You could tell it. It was up like that, and you talking about somebody that suffered. I suffered, and they just kept me doped up. They kept me doped up, and they workers' comp just take their time, Then when they authorized me to go to a surgeon, I went to the surgeon. He could visibly tell that something was wrong. So, what they want to do, make me do physical therapy and my shoulder. And I said, "Are you serious?" I said, I can't handle that. I can't. My elbow plus my shoulder's dislocated, and they think they're going to be raising my arm. I said, "Are you kidding me?" He said it was required by law. And I said, "We got to find another way, honey, because this ain't going to work. This is not going to work." And so what he said that he was going to recommend for me, because it was part of therapy, was to have hot and cold treatments. And so he said, we do want to strengthen your arm. And he said, if it hurts you when they raising your arm, you have to, you tell them that it hurts and they will stop. Well, I was like, okay, we're going to try it your way. But I knew it wasn't going to work. So I goes into physical therapy. They was giving me these expensive shots. 3 weeks after I had the first shot, it was gone. It was just wore. It was gone. It wore off. So I'm in physical therapy, and so I couldn't stand this one. The other ones was real nice because they listened to you. And I was like, okay, stop. And they said, that hurts. And I said, yes, stop. And they would stop. This one girl, well, it's going to hurt, Miss Trotter. And I said, let me ask you one question. I said, whose arm is this? Is this mine or yours? She said, it's yours, but I mean, it is going to hurt. And I said, I tell you to stop. You need to stop. She tried to force my arm. Oh my God. I took my fist and I hit that girl so hard. I didn't know I had that much strength. She went flying across the room. She slid across the floor and I went off. And so the other therapist, they said, well, her name was Jillian. I couldn't stand her. They said, Jillian, we heard her tell you to stop. Her mouth busted, nose busted. I knocked the fire out of her. And so I told the surgeon what had happened. And he was livid. And he sent a nasty letter to him. And he sent a letter to workers' comp. And he told them Miss Trotter cannot do any physical therapy because she has 2 substantial injuries. So I didn't have to do any more therapy. Even if they was to tell me that I could do some therapy now, I still wouldn't do it. Because I have that injury to my elbow. I can only bend my elbow so far before it starts shooting these severe pains up and down my arm and then across my neck, and then I'm going to start hurting again. And so he said, you warned me that it wasn't going to work, didn't you? I said, I sure did. And he said, I would have knocked her out too. He said that she was supposed to listen to you. He said sometimes the therapists, they think they know more than the surgeons or the doctors, and they have to kind of put them in their place. He said, but you sure showed her, didn't you? Because I am much more stronger, before I even got hurt in my right arm because I'm overusing it. I am very strong in my right arm. So, when he took me out of that, then, finally they gave authorization so I can have my surgery. And then the surgery that I had didn't repair nothing. They just cleaned it out. It was an arthroscopic type surgery. Then I go to my hearing. Well, Miss Trotter, we authorized the surgery. And I said, it's okay. And it didn't help. And I said, no. Only thing that helped me now is that they put my shoulder back in place. I said, but no. I said, to be honest, it hurts worse than it did before I had the surgery. I wish they had left it alone, because that was the way I was feeling. Come to find out, the surgeon that they sent me to was not a repair surgeon. I needed an arthroscopic and repair. They only authorized him. He said if he wasn't authorized to do it, he had to close me up. He said, Miss Trotter, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And I was like, this. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. They just ought to be ashamed. And then said that I could work. They wanted me to still work after I got hurt. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So y'all got me on these pain pills and stuff, and I'm not going to endanger myself or somebody else driving off some pain pills. They something, honey. Social Security, too. And I was, I couldn't believe it. The system is something else. The system is something else. And my attorneys, I felt like I said, why weren't y'all saying anything? Because their attorneys, they had they raised their voice. They tried to intimidate me. And I just looked at them. And I asked my attorneys, I said, why did y'all allow them to do that? You know, they said, Miss Trotter, you did very well on your own. I was not disrespectful. I was not smart, being a smart butt or nothing like that. I told them just how it was. Because see, when you tell the truth, you can tell that over and over and over. It's that lie that you can't tell over and over because you're going to keep telling lies. I didn't have nothing to hide. So the only thing that I did say, you could have perceived it as being smart, but I wasn't. Because the attorney's logic wasn't making sense to me. But he told me because I was getting older that my injuries was degenerative and because I was getting older. And I said, you're older than me. I said, do you have that problem? And so the hearing officer kind of, chuckled. And, you could tell he was trying to laugh, but I was just serious. And I said, sir, if there's going to be any injuries or degenerative, it would be in my right because that I am dominant right-handed. And this, and I said, I released my medical records to my regular doctor. And I said, if you got my records, you will see that I never, ever complained about any shoulder problems until I got hurt. The hearing officer. And the reason why I was going there is because I had to keep going to keep my little chat going. Because they thought I was going to be able to go back to work until that surgeon put in my records that my injuries, my damages is permanent. So that's when, my attorney said, you have to sign up for Social Security because you're not going to get any better. Never did address the elbow injury. And I was livid with my attorneys because they wanted me to settle. And my doctor said, how are they talking about you settling when they haven't, your elbow hasn't been addressed? And he said, Miss Trotter, the longer that you go without getting this elbow fixed, the more likely the damage is going to be permanent. You're going to always have numbness, They were, would you like for us to get your Social Security started? Get that. I said, I wouldn't let you represent a dog. I said, you messed up a lot of stuff for me. Because as a state, I had to be responsible for the payment of my operation on my elbow. I said, I wouldn't let you represent my dog. Well, Miss Trotter, I am so sorry. Tell my hand that. Then had the nerve to send me a survey, a questionnaire of how their work was. I just wrote in big bold letters, are you serious? And I sent it back to them. So I had to wait until I was able to get some type of medical card before, because I did get my settlement, but I wasn't going to pay for my, it was like $7,000 or $8,000. And I wasn't going to spend that kind of money on That's how I bought all new stuff. And, gave my kids some money. And, I got things that I needed. So I waited until I got Medicaid, and I had a spend down. I had to pay for that medical card a month. Some people's spend down was like I felt so sorry for them. I only had to pay like 90, what was it, $90 a month until my Medicare kicked in. And that's how I got my surgery done on my elbow. But it was too late. The damage was done. But I still had to have the surgery. So, my point is, that little wretched thing that lived a couple of doors down from me caused that little nonchalant attitude that she had because I missed my appointment. It didn't sit well with me at all because I've been through too much with this. Now let her block me again. I dare her. The guy said, Miss Sharon, next time she blocked you in, he said, call the no, what he said, have it. He said, have that BITCH car towed. He said, because I know what you be going through. Because like the day that I was, I had my surgery, it was my shoulder. So it was my son and and my daughter. And I was so out of it. I mean, I was talking crazy and my son was trying to hold me up because I couldn't walk. I was still under the effects of the anesthesia. And he came over and helped my son get me in the house. That's how he knows about, my situation. Because he was out there when the manager came out here and they was trying to get her up to get, to move. Well, by the time the manager got here, it was already too late because my appointment was at 8. And the office didn't close they didn't open until 8. So they, she finally got up after close to 10 o'clock more, really. And I was furious. And then she has that, oh well, okay. Oh, beach well. So when my daughter comes back, I don't think her and my daughter will be friends. I mean, she might. I don't. It wouldn't bother me none. These kids nowadays, they don't have loyalty to family anymore. So if she still be friends with her, I don't care. But she the one that came over and asked my daughter to ask me because she used my microwave. And I was like, what? She said, Tiny wants to know, she use your microwave to heat up her food? And I said, well, what's wrong with her oven? And I said, no, I don't want to smell her food. People, oh Lord, people just don't realize what they ask of other people. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, reborn family, my baby dolls, that's just another one of my stories. Much love, hugs, and kisses. Big hug, kisses. Bye.